Extra, extra, read all about it! Dragon Knight declared Emperor! Winged Lovechild is Empire's last hope! News from the front, calm before the storm! Imp researchers invent new slogan. Wars are fought with men, lizards, and dwarves, but wars are won by weapons. Also incidentally invents armored vehicle. Yes, it's the news of the thing, back from the war. Let's see why is Edmund here? Edmund, what are you doing in the war room? You are a general.
What a sorry excuse for a general Henry is. Drunk as a dwarf again, going on and on about his lost arm. The more liquor disappears down his throat, the more he can still feel it. Wish he had a phantom tongue instead of a phantom limb. The place would be so much quieter.
Alcohol is indeed a bane of many a wife's ruler. We might need to do something about that. Take away such temptations from my people. Henry, what is your excuse?
Well, 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 the Dragon Commander himself. Come, sit, drink with me. Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Only because
He's
of
had
your
a few too many.
indulgence.
But you take to the right too if you had an imp apparatus for an arm. Never told you how I came by this eyesore, did I?
You have not, but I can imagine. Continue on, then.
'Twas during the great and glorious last stand to save the Empire. Horseshit. We fought like lions so that the king, your bloody father, could scarper with what riches he could hold. But my soldiers did their duty. They died where they stood, and I was left for dead, want of an eye and an arm.
Understand your anger. By the sound of it, my father was indeed a flawed man. Something I hope to fix.
Not that any of it mattered.
For he was but
The
a man.
king's head was shown decorating a stake. Like star crowns will the pines come midwinter night. Defeat. Bah. Luckily, a touch of the malt can relieve its bitter taste.
Duty. This is indeed, well, these type of choices here is actually what will shape characters quite a bit. But I think this is what Aven would say. Well, despite your dislike for my flawed human father, you stood your ground and did your duty. I hope you'll gain your respect so that you'll stand by me too, should the situation arise, for that is your place.
You have the respect of Maxos, and that certainly speaks in your favor. But you'll need to come a long way yet to prove unto me you're not just another pampered prince he yanked away from his mother's teat. So what'll you have then? Mead or milk?
I actually prefer wine, or some of the other delectable drinks. But I try to resist such temptation. You should learn to do so too, Henry. I have no use for a man whose visions are addled by drink. Scarlet.
Sup, Commander?
Yeah. How do you feel about the other generals?
About whom, Commander?
What about Henry's whining?
Excellent chap, that one. Likes his jokes dirty and his liquor plenty. 2 peas in a pod, me and him. Well, on and off, that is. Can fight like a demon unleashed as well. Best to have him on our side.
And the other generals?
About whom, Commander?
Catherine, for instance.
Bit stuck up, ain't she? That's what a royal title will do to you. She used to be a proper queen and everything, with an entire country at her beck and call. How the mighty have fallen, eh? Me? I don't care for any of that rot. You got nothing. You got nothing to lose.
You may call it falling. I take it struggling to find your place. And what about
About whom?
Edmund?
Shifty son of a bitch, isn't he? Acting all high and mighty all the time, calling imps idiots, dwarfs dullards, that sort of thing. Makes you wonder if there's a single thing he's not intolerant of.
His own kind, apparently. Do you think we should be victorious in the end, Scarlet? You better say yes.
It's hard to say, isn't it? I'd say no, but with a dragon on our side, who knows?
Oh, who knows indeed, I do. Catherine, I've heard some criticism of you.
What would you inquire of me, Commander?
Proper. What are your opinions of your other generals?
If you wish. Anyone in particular?
Scarlet spoke of you.
She could stand to be a bit more ladylike in her ways, and many consider her resistance to authority counterproductive in a military setting. But she's wily as a wizard, and tough as mithril nails. Don't ask me why, but I have the feeling she's a troubled girl somehow. A girl, yes. Hardly a woman as yet. None of my business, of course. She is here, and she's willing to fight for Rivellon. That's all that really matters.
Very true. I like you, Catherine. You have wisdom in your head.
If you wish. Anyone in particular?
What of Henry, then?
General Henry is the typical man who thinks of himself as an alpha male, whereas he is, of course, an alpha mongrel. He has the refinement of an inbred orc, and the manners to match, but he is a more than adequate officer once the trumpets herald war. Indeed, if he were a bit less brazen and a bit more calculated in his conduct, he might well come to rival Eerie Edmund.
Oh? Why do you call him
If you wish.
Eerie Edmund?
He's in a class of his own, there's no doubt about it. A brilliant mind, but in my opinion a flawed one as well. He styles himself as superior to everyone else, and that would be just fine if he weren't a man. Or a bigot.
I see.
I have many friends and enemies that are dwarves or elves or imps, and never have I seen evidence the one is inherently more smart or stupid than the other.
Indeed.
In Edmund's mind, though, we are all on par with cattle, which is simply infuriating.
All mortals are equal in my eyes, Catherine. Do not worry about that. I shall take my leave. I'm called to the throne room. What waits me there?
Commander, it is imperative that we should win the war. For our enemies are godless heathens in need of annihilation.
Quite.
To hasten this process, I therefore propose we introduce conscription. For why have young, able-bodied men sit around or do menial tasks when they could be serving in your armies instead?
Yes, you speak wisdom. Yorick, still, what do the others think?
Commander, even the most peace-loving elf won't deny that in these dark times of war, allowances have to be made which we would otherwise condemn. Conscription, though, goes too far.
Oh, and why is
Let
that?
those that wish to fight for our cause do so, but let's not force men away from their families if they feel it is their duty to stand by them.
And why should it just be men? A woman can wield a gun as well as a man. Falstaff, you like families, don't you?
Conscription may have somewhat of an ill ring to it, Commander, but it might be worth consideration nonetheless. There's not a dwarf that won't take up his arms for the Empire, but elves! A three-fingered man could number their volunteers on one hand. Time to get these weaklings into shape.
Shaping, I like it. Okay. The bell tolls. Prospera,
I
your
don't
thoughts?
think conscription is a very good idea, Commander. Not only should a life of soldiery be an individual's choice rather than an obligation, but by drafting so many young men into the army, you're draining our economical reserves. So please don't forget your political obligations because of your military ones.
Well, there is economy in war as well. And what of our impish friend?
Here's an imp's perspective, Commander. More soldiers equals bigger battles, and bigger battles equals more explosions. Win-win. Granted, it's a bit of a simplistic perspective, but imps will have their fun, you know.
You know what I appreciate about you, Trincular? You have a self-awareness that very few have. It's impressive. I think I will improve conscription indeed. Every soldier, everyone needs their place right now, and I will guide them to it.
Bravo, Commander. Nothing like fresh blood to reinvigorate the military. A lot of it will be spilled, yes, but in service of the Seven, that is an honor, not a sacrifice.
Indeed. And in service to me as well. Now, with 9 points, we'll spare them up for something good. Now, for the moment, let's head back to the war. So, as you see, might I just take a moment to I'll show you this map, which I think is really nice, really beautiful looking. With all animated little like things and the gears that seem to be working. And even like things like clouds slowly, slowly moving over it. It's very nicely done, very well made. I like it. So we have been kind of reinforcing ourselves, getting a bit more troops out, and moving them to these two fronts, which I think is where we will be fighting a lot of war. They are making a lot of war factories. I think if we push them off this continent, that will be a very good thing. So let's see. One hunter. How are they with reinforcement this? They have a lot of troopers, only one hunter, and one grenadier. We can move this here. For clarity, let's move our transport there. And one trooper. I say we also move this to this area, reinforce it and get ready to... don't think we're there yet to charge in, but we will soon, hopefully. Meanwhile, with 12 gold to spend. How are we on cards? Now cards, let me give you a temporary bonus, which can be either for a battle or for the strategic phase, or give you a power for a bit as a dragon. I think we will, but for now we don't have a very good thing, so I think we'll just reinforce ourselves a bit more. Now they seem to be focusing a lot on troopers, and hunters are very good against troopers, so I say we'll make another hunter. We have 12 gold, so we have 5 gold left. A hunter and a grenadier, why not? And let the turn rule. Aha, they're invading us. Oh, they're invading us with a lot of guys. Oh, we're on 2 fronts. This might be tricky. So now we have 2 battles. The thing is, we can only lead 1 per turn ourselves. I think we want to keep this one with the war factory. Oh, we could have also built troops here. What was unfortunate. What does this give us? 2 science, 2 gold. On the other hand, we can very quickly mobilize troops over there. And this gives us... Well, I think I'll lead this one and see if this one... We don't have gold. See, they are spending cards here. Reducing. Now we can also spend some cards. Let's see if that has an is of use. So if we how do I use it actually? So we want hunter mercenaries. See, that changes greatly in our. If we add some shaman mercenaries. This one doesn't make a change, okay. It makes 1%. So we are going to have to risk it. It's a 64% chance. Then we will lead the other battle. Right, let's do this. Also, if we hire a general, you see our chances increase depending on our forces. Scout will be good here. But we don't have the gold to pay them. Generals cost gold to pay. So we will have the Imperial Army resolve this automatically. We've lost our troopers. This is not good. I think we might win this. Yes! Hurrah! Thanks to our mercenaries, probably. We've only one hunter surviving. We have fought off a big... and now we will... This battle would nobody nearly be winnable. But I think as a dragon we might be able to do this. So let's give it a go. Oh, we still have this. Right then, let's give it a go. This will be a hard one as they'll start with more troops than us. But we have dragon powers and that can make a big difference. Okay then. We need to spread these out fast.
Ready for the Blitzkrieg.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll move them all along this path. Grab this one, grab that one. That's hopefully be enough. It's a nice fantasy landscape, this. Meanwhile, we will need troops. I think they have a lot of... I think we'll make a bunch of hunters here.
I've got big guns and I cannot lie.
We've got big guns and I cannot lie! Aha!
Glory foretold.
Quickly move here. Might need to send a troop over there. Oh well. So far we only have that. Ah! We have a battle here!
The Emperor will prevail.
Hooray!
Trace their torn banner in blood. Construction underway, Commander. Battle forge completed.
Recruitment center here quickly. Ah, that was a solid win. Good.
We're out of recruits, Commander.
Okay, we'll need to wait a bit.
Anti-ground turret completed.
I want a trooper
Unit is
actually.
being manufactured, Commander. Ready for the Blitzkrieg.
Uh-oh, here come the armies. Thankfully we're pretty well fortified here.
Anti-ground turret completed. The grave be their destiny. We'll crush them one leg at a time.
Right.
Recruitment citadel completed. Be on guard, Commander. Enemy hunters are about to be deployed.
So far we're doing pretty well here.
They'll be built in a jiffy.
So they're supposedly still have an advantage.
Construction in progress.
Hopefully we can change that.
Construction underway, Commander.
Strongly reinforcing ourselves. And let's make hunters
Your
for
unit
the
will
rest.
soon be ready. Your unit will roll out
Actually, no,
momentarily,
that's
Commander.
actually... Because I might need to change the round form. Can we do this?
Not enough recruits to morph, Commander.
I wonder how much you need. 20? Yes! 20.
Anti-ground turret completed. Anti-ground turret completed.
Yeah, they are wrecking our shit. Not for long though. Daka daka daka! Fear the might of the dragon and kneel! Mortals, oh, transport, eh? Just give up. Just lie down. Find your place in my great domain. Oh, we have destruction here. What's happening? Afraid. Wonder why we lost that one. Let's deal with their armies right quick. This should devastate them solidly, and I like the metal here. Ah! Dun, 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 dun. Let's take their recruitment center. Not impressed. We're totally dominating right now! Hurrah! I think. Honestly, that is... Oh, well, it takes time if we wreck this. Daka 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 daka! Kneel before Aven! Kneel! Now let's move our armies up to see if we can capture this place. Ah yes! My tanks are moving in, excellent! Stop resisting! Aha! They surrender. 19%. My ass. Good. Yes, that was a solid battle. And we have held onto all of our territory, glorious. Wartime edition of the Riverland Times! Total casualties of war, 4,144! Henry unfit to be a general, but don't quote me on that, as the Lord Edmund confides. Conscription! Generation of children marches into war! Emperor rumored to have a palace built with the enemy's bones, countries in shock, barbaric tribes, not so much. The Emperor's political standing, the elves like us a little bit less, as do the lizards, but the rest like us a bit more. See, as you might have noticed on the battle map, certain factions control certain lands. The more they favor us, the more troops and resources they'll actually give us. So that's why the political choices are important. General action have influenced the empire. Oh, so we have a upgrade card. It's not that interesting. Your policies have the following consequence. Dwarven discount. Produce cost 6 less recruits to produce in a battle. Our ground units are reduced in cost. Air units, sea units, and motivation of populace has decreased by 4%. That means there will be 4% less potential resources or recruitment points to gather in a battle. But everything is cheaper, so that's what the choice to do conscription does. So they have effects, these choices. Prospera, what are you doing in the war room? This is no place for a lady ambassador.
Fie upon Edmund's pride, Commander. The Lizard Lords have granted him the honor of representing our mighty military on a diplomatic mission of utter import, and he gets his knickers in a twist because it comes with a spot of sacrament alien to our ways.
I see. Edmund.
I should think it would be good fun to attend an imp ceremony. Something is bound to blow up. Isn't that what the generals normally like?
Well, I do, especially if it's the buildings of my enemies. So then, Edmund, let's have a little word. Lizard.
Imps, Commander. Are they not truly the lowliest of all the races? Were it not for the hint of
Barkeep,
demon cunning
pour
in
me
their
one.
blood, we most probably wouldn't speak to them as much as serve them for supper with a series of seasonal stuffings. As it is, however, the Lizard Lords have deemed it fit to strengthen the military cooperation between ourselves and those demoniacal dewdrops.
That seems like a good thing in my eyes.
I'd exhale an existential sigh upon the hearing of such folly, yet give it no further thought but for one devilish detail in the treaty. It is I, as our foremost general, who must, quite literally, stoop to inspect their armies. An impish high priest will be present, figures fit for farce that are greeted and received with ridiculous amounts of highly ritualized protocol.
No.
As Henry might say, Commander, I'd rather lick marmalade from an orc's behind than bow to an imp. My very reason for currying your draconic benevolence at this hour. Certainly I have your blessing to abstain from these grotesque formalities and tend to business rather than etiquette.
Honestly, Edmund, I don't care if they have you jumping through hoops. If a courtesy is demanded, you must deliver upon it. Such are the rules of diplomacy. You will do what is needed to keep my subjects happy and capable of finding their place.
Your wish, my command, et sorry cetera. But if there indeed be hoops, the snapping of little necks will be added to the ritual.
Limit that. We need their lives in this war effort.
I must say, I don't envy Edmund, Commander. He's to bow and scrape before an imp of all things. If 'twere any other general, I'd publicly protest. But that conceited tosser deserves to kiss dust once in a while. Remind him he walks the earth just like the rest of us. Well, except you, perhaps.
You're getting an understanding, Henry. Have you not drunk anything today, perhaps?
Ah, to be in the thick of battle. With you calling the shots, it's a joyride rather than a jeopardy.
Good. Now, I guess that was all for today then. And we will return. We have made another one, another decision, or even to have poor Edmund humiliate himself a little bit. I was tempted to give him an excuse, but no, the whole empire must be happy and all of it. One man, the needs of the one don't outweigh the needs of the many, or whatever. Well, that's it then. I'll do a bit of strategy in between, so we have more choices and adventures and all of that in between. So till next time.